never mind then.
So everyone is going to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do, I need everyone to make me a wisdom save.
Aw, crap. My wisdom is awful.
Wisdom saves?
Wisdom saves.
I forgot. Which is wisdom saves?
Give me a
The
sec.
small box or the big box?
Small
Ma'am?
box.
Okay. Come on. Oh! Why me?
And I will quickly do Dazos.
Oh, why me? Oh, why?
Wait, did Elise roll too?
Nope, Alicia hasn't rolled yet.
Essential whisper cat.
Oh. Two of us are screwed.
Sure, you can.
He will do so.
Alrighty then. As you all drift to sleep,
Oh boy.
you all
Okay.
you feel the familiar grasp of the dreamscape as it cloaks you into its green fog like a soft blanket. However, this also feels a little different this time. It's as if the blanket has holes and you feel a cold chill rush up your spine.
Oh boy. I can imagine for the ones who got low rolls, this would be worse.
Yes, as you try to feel yourself trying to get comfortable in this blanket of fog, you start to feel the fog grasp you, tighten you, trying to squeeze you until you pop.
Oh boy.
Thunder could be heard miles and miles away. Subtle screams start to fill the air, and a cold bitterness stings your tongue.
Oh, please don't be bad. Please don't be bad. Please don't be extremely bad. The whole thing is black.
Yep. Give me one moment.
That depends on who's waking up first.
I'm trying to work in the lights. The
Sorry.
lights.
You're good.
That's alright.
I'm just really nervous because both Avelios and Quinn got real bad rolls.
Look at the devil.
We're gonna start down here. Come on, you. Why doesn't my shifter?
Now, I'm where the ping is.
Yep, I can see him. Oh, I guess we're starting off with Quinn again. Oh boy.
Quinn, you
Yes.
wake up in this dark room. Candlelights are the only lights that you see. And
Huh?
This seems familiar to you. As if you've been here before.
Uvelios? Nephrite? Dazo? Elish? Aerith? Out of character, am I missing anyone?
No.
No? My heart is actually freaking pounding right now.
Yes. What do you...
No, this was out of character.
Yep, I know. I need you to make a perception check for me, please, Gwen.
Bye. Luckily, my perception's pretty good. Let's hope. Oh, come on!
Don't jinx yourself.
Lucky for you, this is a low road that you look at the cage and you realize that this is your cage.
My cage?
The cage you know most of your life in.
Quen, just like in real life, Quen's heart is pounding.
All of a sudden, you hear a creak right behind you, and you see the door open.
Ah!
What do?
Oh, crap. Hold on. My computer's low on battery.
Oh shoot.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. He steps forward inch, inch, inch. Can you make a perception? Anything, because I do not want to be ambushed.
You can make a perception if you like.
Please be good. Really?
You see not much of the sort, just the hallways that you've been through before.
Well, since he knows this place, at least does he know where he's gonna go?
Yes, almost instantly, almost robotically, you know, to go this way.
Hold on. Where? Okay, now where?
You go into this room and you see, come on, light. Familiar test tubes. Each one of them containing what looks to be a ghostly spirit in them.
Well, just in case, Ace, Quen's gonna ready an action just in case. He's gonna hold a tail striking action if an enemy gets right in front of him.
All right.
Okay, does he know where to go next?
Right around here?
Well,
You look around, curious of the test of what exactly are in those test tubes. That you find yourself in front of a desk with a book in it, with a book on it, and a page open.
he goes to the book to see what it is. Well, what's on it.
On there, you see a long list of numbers. And right beside those numbers, you see different species. Dragonborn, human, drow, tiefling. And right beside them are a few other numbers with some kind of wording you can't really understand. And behind you, you hear a voice. Quen, what are you doing out of your cell?
Ah! Mother,
Why did you
I-
disobey me?
I'm sorry. I just want to explore.
You know how dangerous the outside world is. Why don't you listen to your mother?
I'm sorry.
You're sorry? You're sorry? Are you really sorry, Gwen?
Yes. I had the strangest dream. I met others.
There is no such thing as others. And you feel her grab your horn and whisper to you, you only listen to me. And from her hand, you see it grow into what looks to be a claw.
Ah!
You see her body start to morph.
Ah! Can I attack, please?
Yes, you can.
Oh, I hope I don't die. I hope I don't die. Tail. Oh, come on!
Unfortunately, it does not hit.
Damn it! Can he try to run? Because since he attacked, he can run.
It has you by your horn. You're kind of considered grappled.
Let me go! Let me go!
As you scream those words out, Gwen, blackout. We're now going to turn to another person. We are going to turn, please work up here. Where we see, oh, come on you.
Okay. Apparently Nephrite's next.
Wow, did none of us get a high roll? Dang.
No, I got a 20. I got a 20, but apparently I'm next.
You wake up and you see a familiar room to you. You see the writing desk. You see the shelves of books. You see your father's study room before you. And you hear crying. Like a mother's crying for her child.
It's a dream. It's a dream. It's a dream. It is just a dream.
Yes, you see your mother crying on the couch while her husband tries to comfort her. And you also see Diamond bearing a worried look on her face too.
Diamond? Mom? Dad? She kind of just beach walks a little bit because she remembers from a child you don't run in the study.
Yep. You hear your mother crying. Where could she be? Are you sure the guards looked everywhere for her? Diamond nods. We have. But so far, we can't even get to Callum. There is little hope. No, I can't lose my baby girl. I can't. I know. I'm worried about her too. But at this point, there's nothing we can do.
But I sent a letter. Mom, I sent a letter. I'm fine.
But what about Albert?
Nephrit actually tries to reach out to her mom, but she stops her dream. She can't really feel her.
I assure you, the guild has their condolences. But we still have to hold on to hope. I mean, if Blight made it through, I'm sure she'll make it through. She could be lost somewhere, I don't know. But we can't give up hope of
alive.
her.
Albine's alive? He's alive.
You hear a voice coming from the other end. Yes, he is alive. Were you worried about him?
You're a Hashalak, aren't you?
You know my name. You can tell that it's not speaking to you. It's more like it's talking in your mind.
Okay, that's disturbing.
That's what we learned for the Hashalaks. They speak telepathically.
Still, though, that's creepy.
Eh. I wanted the red ones, but this will have to do.
Would you rather have the big red one?
No.
Then be grateful for what you got.
That's what I'm saying. I am backing away from this thing because even though this thing is less dangerous, I don't want it attacking me.
Then who should I go for? The father? The weeping mother? Or the bright diamond?
Oh, that's the mother. Oh.
Stay away from my family.
What would you do to protect them? Would you give yourself up to save them?
I'm not playing your sick games. Stay away from my family.
Or what? And with that,
Wait, did he just say or what?
yeah,
You might want to cut to another person before I say something that is not safe for this channel.
Or
Yep.
me, for that matter.
yep, we're cutting to another person.
Yep.
PG.
Hey, at least I stopped myself.
Fair point, you're getting better.
Yep, we're gonna cut right down to here. As soon as I can on you.
There we are. Oh dear. Never thought I'd be in this predicament again. But I know it's a dream. I'm not... This isn't... I'm not 13 years old anymore. I'm 28.
As you said that, you hear a wail coming from beside you, and you see from across the way another cell holding what appears to be a specter of some sort. Help me. Help.
From which side?
The left.
Okay, I'm gonna go over and look. Keep in mind what this is. How long have you been here?
Years. It's been years since the orphanage.
And your name?
It opens its mouth to say its name, but no sound comes out.
Can I read its lips to? Does it mouth the name?
Roll investigation.
Okay.
It tries to pronounce the name Clementine.
I don't think I've heard that name. I only know 6 others. But it doesn't match. Something's not right.
I want to leave. I want mommy. All of a sudden, you hear 2 other cells from right beside you. I want mommy and daddy. I want more dad.
Quickly, Null calls out the names he knows. Alex? Luna? Kyle? Jessica? Mia? Nash?
You see all 3 specters look at you before they look down in a world of pain. But in front of you, no, you see this.
Her. this be when we first met?
Yes, you see her a lot younger than you.
So, it had to have been when I was 13. Got to approach. If I interact with her, I can't act too familiar.
Are you gonna interact with her?
Well, is there anyone else out there who's here just trying to call out to, at least to get her attention?
I'm sure they're around somewhere. Here or there. Doesn't matter.
You taken to be experimented on too?
That's the way it goes in this place, I suppose. They take you, they chop you, they mangle you until you forget yourself. Then she looks directly at you. Did you forget yourself, Noel?
Forgot my childhood, but it's not who I am. I know what I'm supposed to do, and I know who I have to find. She taught me once that the secret of life is just one thing. Stick to that, everything else will fall into place.
Wise words. But I don't think I can believe in that anymore. Not what they did to me.
Wait. It can't be. Oh. You just said that she's younger. This is before. Okay. Don't lose faith. We'll find a way out. You will find someone who is special.
A way out. That's what I'm hoping, no. Even now, she turns to you and she quickly transforms into the Laura you know today. I'm trapped in another cage. There is no way out. I'm lost.
Don't give up hope, my tiger. You gave me hope. I promise your darling dragon will save his dearest tiger.
I'm holding on to that hope. I really am. And then you see her door open. And you
Them.
see... Yes, you see these familiar masked men come in. Time to go. And she closes her eyes and blindly obeys.
I will find them, and they will pay. For might, for right. I am a dragon.
You're a dragon. Are you really? You look around your cage, Gwen, and you start to see
Did you just call me Clem?
Sorry, no,
Tom
no,
Cruise.
sorry. You start to see a number of these things try to grab you through the cage.
I try to pull away.
As you do, we're gonna black out there. And Avelios, are you good for voice chatting?
Yes. I can chat for now.
Alright. So, we're gonna move on to you.
Okay.
And you are over here. Come on, now.
As I look at the black screen, I wonder, is this reality? Or is this just fantasy? Oh, I'm here. Oh.
Yeah, really, dude?
I got it.
Yep, I get
Yeah,
the reference.
Yeah, same.
Okay, you wake up on like a grassy area with like a throbbing pain in your head.
Ugh. My head. Wait, where's the rest of the party? This again? Velios is gonna observe his surroundings and he's going to try and assess the situation he put himself in.
Okay, you try to assess the situation around you. You look up and you see what looks to be a mix of crystallized men with dark armor and specters going around trying to slice each other.
Velios is just gonna be over here thinking, a civil war? Are the enemies fighting each other?
Make a history check for me, please.
Okay, sure. Let me just get to my character real quick. History. A 13.
Not bad.
I am not cursed today.
You were close.
Okay, you look around and you see the tents are familiar. The surrounding areas a little familiar. Kind of like it was in Calum.
This place seems awfully familiar to me. Oh.
Yep. Oh,
He's gonna.
go ahead.
He's going to, because he can tell that there's obvious infighting. He's gonna try and get away from the situation.
As you do, you hear a familiar scream. You turn around and you see Terra trying to attack this crystallized man and yelling to the specter behind him, "Come on, get out of here while you can!"
Terra?
Yep, Terra.
Evelios is gonna run up to Terra's side and get this green creature off Terra best he can.
Alright, make a D100, please.
Ooh, I like percentile rolls. 43.
Wow.
Okay, surprisingly, you do manage to push him off Terra. Which he was kind of surprised in.
I'm gonna be like, get out of here, Terra. Help others.
He looks at you confused, but then shakes his head going, no, not until I find Evilios.
What are you talking about? I am Evilios.
You kind of look down on yourself, and I'm sorry I do not have the token right now, but you appear to wear different clothes than the ones you fell
What?
asleep in.
Is there a way I can find a mirror?
You can try one of the tents.
Okay. I'm gonna go in the green one since it's the closest one to me.
Okay, roll investigation.
Investigation. This was a terrible idea. I take it all back.
Oh, that's
That's a 0.
bad.
Yep, you can't really find a mirror.
That's just bad.
So that's a 0.
Mhm.
How do you suck so much a percentage?
Don't worry about
investigation.
Yep. As you step out, you
Um,
see Terra again fighting with the crystallized men.
there's a lot of like conflictions going on in Evelios' mind right now. Terror doesn't recognize me as me. He recognizes me as someone else. He's fighting someone and refuses to leave otherwise. What is going on? He can only, like, the assumption that Velios is making based on what Aqua has told him before is that this was probably around the time where Velios had first gone missing. And Terra stayed behind to find me, or he went back for me. This is what's initially going on in his mind right now.
Yep, you start to see a lot of the crystallized men gather around Terra as he tries to fight them off, but there's too many of them for him to take on by himself. Ugh. 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 Ugh.
Yeah, he's gonna immediately stop processing his thoughts to try and get them off Terra again.
Roll another D100.
Hope you do well.
This will only keep going until I fail a D100. 96.
Dang.
Alright, you push your hand out to stop them, and as you do, you release what looks to be like green sparks at them. And you pretty much disintegrate them.
I'm over here thinking to myself, who or what am I?
Good question. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Ah, crap, not these things again.
And I'm gonna be over here like, Velios kind of recognizes also from the first dreamscape he was in what these things like are, and I'm just like, not y'all again. Haven't y'all bothered me enough?
Bother? 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 Okay, as you do, you start to see Terra try to get up by the greatsword to help him push him back up to continue to wander trying to find Evilios.
I'm gonna be like, wait, no, don't go.
Don't go, don't go, don't go.
And Velios is literally gonna look at these things right now. He's like, man, y'all are really starting to annoy me.
Annoy, annoy, annoy.
What? He's gonna have a mental breakdown. He's gonna get on his knees, hands on his head. He's gonna be like, "What do y'all want from me?"
You hear them all collectively say, "We want you." And we're gonna black out there.
That's terrifying. But still though, so far, why am I the only one that has to deal with a frickin' red one?
Okay,
Never mind.
so next we're going to come down here. For Elish.
I'm gonna see if I can get a message to Sophia. Cause she said you'd be around 9-ish.
So he'll wake, he'll open his eyes and basically assess himself and then his surroundings.
You appear to be in what looks like a grand foyer of a mansion.
Am I wearing anything?
No, you're still wearing your normal outfit. The outfit you fell asleep in.
Weapons?
Your weapons are gone.
Okay. So what does he see around him?
You see a piano, you see a couple of couches, a nice potted plant, a nice portrait of what looks to be a husband, wife, and a baby. And if you look up the ceiling, you see a decapitated ceiling with like a chandelier. A nice crystal chandelier on top of you.
What race is the family?
They look to be human.
Okay. Any doors in sight?
You don't see a door. However, you see what looks to be the path of the room heading off this way.
So he goes over that way.
Alright, but as you do, and I'm gonna use this, as you walk that way, you see what looks to be like, ignore what it says on the bottom, it's supposed to be like a fire spirit. And you start to see giant flames of these creatures.
If you need help, Cat, I could quickly find a fire spirit if you want.
No, it's okay. These will work for now.
Okay.
Now the leaves will stop and look at him.
They seem to be wanting to block your way. As they start to set everything on fire.
He just kind of shrugs and walks through one of them.
Roll a dexterity save, please.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You take 4 points of damage.
He doesn't seem to care.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you see what looks to be this man on the other side of the flames. Going. It looks like he's trying his best to get in.
So did I move through them, or am I still stuck where I'm at, or what?
You're still stuck where you're at.
I call out to the man. Can you hear me?
He looks at you and nods.
I have no idea what is going on, so I don't know how to help you.
He looks like he's about to jump.
I doubt that you're going to get past the barrier of these things, since my attempt failed.
He ignores you and jumps through anyway. And he takes like a severe burn on his, like his whole body almost became engulfed in fire.
Well, turn around and look at him.
Yeah. He goes.
Can you speak now?
He pays you no attention, goes forward, and appears to pick up something off of the couch. He huddles it in his arms, gently, before attempting another running jump through the flames.
I'll just stand there and watch him.
He jumps through. You could barely see him in the flames. But as he does jump, the flame spirit moves out of your way.
Okay, I proceed forward.
Okay. You proceed forward until you see the man again. Now, almost skin charred and black. His hair all pretty much gone. His clothes singed and burned. But the thing he was carrying, it looked unharmed.
I'll keep following him.
You keep following him? Oh, come on, you wrong button. You keep following him until you see what looks to be your numb father looking over this man with a bunch of specters sitting down around a campfire.
I raise an eyebrow.
The man holds up what he was carrying to your father, and your father proceeds to hold what appears to be a small comparison with the man into almost as big as the gnome. And as your father holds this in his hands, The other man collapses, finally succumbing to his burns.
I stand and watch.
Dang, you're cold.
Yeah,
You just watched.
you hear a voice behind you, Elise. Doesn't that tug at your heart? Are you that
I'm gonna look at the
cold?
picture and look at it. What do you know of coldness, you extraterrestrial thing?
Great.
I know what
many
this is.
things.
I don't play games. Never have. Never will.
Never will. Then why don't you play my game?
Because it's boring.
Then let's make it not boring.
Oh. Never mind.
Oh, look, there's more of you. Ooh, it's so exciting.
Punisher's not coming.
Come on, yeah. Work with me, work with me. You feel the two right behind you claw at you.
I will fight them as best I can. I don't have any weapons or spells or anything to do with it, but I'll die fighting them.
You're not afraid to die?
I'm already dead. Go to hell.
Oh.
Out of character, can we actually say hell?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Well, I can't, but you guys can.
Yep. And after that, Unleash, we will black out, and it looks like Sophia is not joining us today.
Oh no, she is. Oh no,
We
she
said she'll
is.
be here around 9-ish, but it's already past 9 for you guys. Past 8 for me in game.
I think she was talking about 9-ish for her time. I sent her a message. She said she would. And I also told her her dream pot would be coming up soon.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we gotta move on.
Yep.
Yep, so I can I can give her like 5 minutes, but if she's not here by then, we gotta move on.
Okay. Should I try to send a message to her again? Oh wait.
I see that she's online. But just while we're on this break, okay, can we just commend Hidden Dragon, for being the main person who had his head on straight? Even though he's one of the lowest rolls for wisdom save, he's actually the one who has his head on straight when it came
There
down
she
to
is.
these.
Yay!
Hey, Sophia.
Yes, I am here.
Sorry if I was rude.
No, wasn't rude. I'm sorry, I just had friends over, and so yeah. Because, well, yeah, I know. It's like I tried to get it like earlier, but yeah, their staff didn't come until like a little past 9. So yeah, fun. So what did I miss?
Oh, you missed.
Lot of dreaming.
Yeah.
Hmm.
First was Quen's, then Dolls.
I would say for the haste of time, because we do have people who have to go pretty soon, we will run it down after the session.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. I am
Come on.
hopping in now. Gosh, dang it. Crap. Hello.
All right. Can you see yourself?
Okay, hold on. Ugh. Ah. Yes.
All right. So, Dazo, you wake up in this little tiny room.
Where is everybody? I will move myself here in a second.
You need to get your character page open.
Yes, I will. Give me 1 second. I got a lot of crap to move around. So, opening up my character page. Okay.
All right. So, you look around and you start to see the bit of familiarity with this room. You look on this side past what looks to be like a curtain, and you see your old bedroom.
How did I get here? And she's gonna go over to table here.
That is actually like your chest full of your clothes.
Oh, okay. It's like, then this is a window, right?
It is a window.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna look out the window.
Normally, when you look out your window, you would see like the nice lava waterfall going down towards the town, where all it's used in forges. But all you see is the dry, empty air.
It's like, Mom?
All of a sudden, you hear someone come in to the room. He looks to be carrying like a small tray of soup towards the person lying in bed.
And then it's like,
You see him try to set her up, but she obeys him like almost like a doll. Come on. You need to eat, Caroline. You need to eat something, please. And she looks down, not really paying attention to him.
It's like, Dad. And then she'll kind of have like a little tear run down her face because she misses them.
You watch as your father tries to present a small spoonful of soup to your mother. Please eat today. You know Dezo would have wanted you to be healthy. Please. But she still sits there looking dead-eyed.
It's like, and Dezo knowing that this is just a dream. Mother, I will be back. Just please, stay healthy for me.
You see your mother's eyes blink as if she heard you. Dezo? She looks towards your direction. Are you there, Dezo? Are you here?
It's like, and then Dezo is like, just please eat, Mother.
You see her.
Stay and strong.
You see her tear up as she tries to reach towards you. Dezo! Dezo, my little girl, Dezo!
And then I will try to reach over to her to touch.
You see your father quickly reaching out your mother's hand to pull it right back. She's not here. I'm sorry, she's not here. I wish she was, but she isn't. She's not here. She's here, she's my baby, my hatchling, my darling. She's not here. She's not here. I'm sorry, but she's not here.
Dezo's gonna try to reach out a hand and touch her mom.
You hear a voice behind you going, "Don't do that. It'll hurt her more."
Then Dezo's like, who are you?
Your friends know. Don't you know?
And then it's like, I know who exactly you are.
Then you know we've come to help. Help. Help.
No. And then Dezo is gonna let out a big roar and get them to go run off.
Roll intimidation.
Oh, I'm gonna love to see this.
I'm not proficient, but you know.
You're a dragon, shouldn't you be?
15.
That's not bad.
You scared these two off of you, but not this one.
Get lost.
But we're just trying to help. Like you.
I don't believe you.
And with that, we're blacked out there. All of a sudden, Dazo, you in place of the vision of the room, you see a bright, flashing light that nearly blinds you. And when you open your eyes, Dazo, you see everyone except Sans Seraph. Sans Aerith.
Uh, 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 Dazo.
Yeah, you see her eyes like wide. It's like, yeah, you can see like a couple of tears running down her face.
I think all of us are having somewhat of a mental breakdown because of all the memories we had to go through because she was nice.
Oh,
Yeah, and then okay, go ahead.
oh, Quench is terrified.
Yeah, and then Deza's like, I just had memory of
Your family?
yes.
Same.
Same.
Yeah, I saw
And I
the one on
ran
the
into a couple of those creatures.
Were they blue or red?
DM?
Blue.
Blue? Okay.
Okay, because Nephra
yeah,
can actually explain that part since the player wasn't here.
Yes. Yeah, Deza's like, there were 3 of them, and they were blue.
Two of mine were blue and one was red.
I only had to deal with one blue, but apparently these things just want to play a little game.
Yeah, and he apparently, I have no idea. Apparently, my mother thought she heard my voice somehow.
So he kind of just flew over to Avelios just to try and comfort him to the best of his ability because he's metal.
Yeah.
That's so metal.
Yeah. And then
Mhm.
Deza will look to Avelios. Mine said they only wanted to help.
Mine didn't say anything. The red one just grabbed my horn.
And the others, the ones I encountered, questioned my identity. I know
no
who I
idea.
am.
Yeah, I don't know who or what they wanted. I wasn't falling for the trick.
If I may, the red one dressed up like my mother.
They think it's a game.
Yeah, I scared off 2, but the third one wasn't scared at all. And then Deja is like, wait, where's Aerith?
Did you? Aerith says she couldn't go into the dreamscape. Remember, she can't dream.
Yeah.
Oh.
Aerith is the only one of us who is safe at this present moment, from what I can remember.
Oh.
However, in regards to these,
Yeah.
okay, you know what? Since we already know what they are, we already know what they want to do. They want to play a game, and their brain's just pretty much done at this point. If she's able to cast magic, she's going to the go-to. She's having a freaking ember of fire bolts already ready in her hand. They want to play a game? I'm ready to play a game.
Roll a D100, Nephrite.
Oh, come on!
Oh, come on, do it.
I was just about to say that, but alright.
11.
You never
Yeah,
know.
I
You're
got
gonna
magic.
get. You're gonna get.
I got magic.
Yeah, your
You
magic
guys need
doesn't
me
work.
anymore?
Your magic doesn't work.
Oh.
But since Dragon does have to go to sleep, he's asking, do we need him anymore?
Up to you. You hear a voice coming from the other end is going, if you guys are all done over there, can one of you lend me a hand? And you see on this gazebo Alenta nearly passing out on the floor.
No, let's run over to help.
Same with Gwen.
Nephra's coming because she
Yeah,
kind of needs
Deja's
her
coming
anyway.
too. We're not second tokens.
No stacking. No stacky.
I'm behind Dessa.
Yeah, I know. I was telling Noel, I was like, no, we're not doing the tango thing.
Yep.
But Velius, you do have a metal burb just as a comfort.
Yeah, for some reason, she was able to construct what looks to be Zuri, to appear into the dream in the dreamscape.
No, wait, you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I thought you all need some form of comfort after that harrowing experience. Took a lot to pull you in here.
My apologies
Yeah.
for that, and I won't ask of you to ever do that again.
Much appreciated, my
Actually, we
child.
may need to have that. We may actually have to ask them to do that more often. I do not want to be constantly bothered by these dream nightmare things. I have more important things to worry about.
You seem to remind me of that scientist lady. But as long as all of you bear the mark, you will come back here, whether you like it or not.
Well, coming back here isn't really our problem. It's, and I actually have to scroll back up in the chat so that we can get the name of this.
The Canary.
The actual specific name.
It's Canary.
No,
That's-
the other names. The Hasarak, the Tarask.
Yeah, and the Hashalak. Our main concern are primarily the Hashalak Canary and the Tarask. Damn, how do you pronounce the red one? Not the big one, the other one.
Tuscora.
Tuscora. Thank you. And the Tuscora Canary.
Yes, they are a rowdy bunch, aren't they?
More like little tricksters that would like to get burned.
tricksters. I suppose that is a preferred term for them.
You call them tricksters? They're literally taking over the They're taking over the Red ones are taking over the minds of taking over villagers.
Not just the red ones, but the blue ones too.
And Daisy like, it's true. I seen him in my dream.
We all have. However, it was stupidly my idea to bring only myself and Null. Apparently, they decided to bring everyone in here. Lovely. Again, first. However, we did get some information while we were awake that they gather as a hive mind. You happen to help us find out where the source is?
I think I might have an idea. There could be the chance of a god's artifact that could influence the entire town.
Do you know where we could find it?
But this is the tricky thing about this god's particular artifact. There are 2 copies of it, one in the dream world and one in the real world.
Do you know where we could find the one in the dream realm?
Yes, I do know of the location. But answer me this. Do you all feel strong enough to go there? Given what they might do to get the upper hand of you.
I will not let that happen.
Same. I'm not gonna fall for it
The problem
again.
that we have is we do not have the right kind of weaponry or means with which to fight them. Is there something that can be earned?
All you have to do is ask. As she flicks her hand, and all of your armor and weaponry are there at your disposal.
No magic, though?
What of my spells? Are they working? Are they going to work here?
What was that?
That would be from Selector's End.
Oops.
Magic is going to change in the dreamscape. As your mind fluxes, so does your spells. Sometimes they will work, sometimes not, and sometimes to an even greater purpose.
Well, doesn't that sound like a double-edged sword?
Most dreams are a double-edged sword.
Elise actually gets a shitty grin.
I can imagine Elise just getting this wicked Grinch grin and Nefra just saying, I can read your mind all the way from over here, and I'm agreeing with you.
Really, Mr. Grinch.
I'm sorry I had to.
Same.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
You
Yeah,
wanted.
you're right. Yeah, you're right. I'm not sorry.
I knew it.
That also comes to question about which god we're having to deal with. I
You
can't
see,
remember if I narrowed it down to 4, but we can't really pin which one.
you see, Olanta close her eyes, slightly hug her chest. It was a goddess I once called a dear friend. Saloon.
Wow, you actually called it.
But God, it's the moon. So, and Nephrit actually looks back at Elise. By the gods, you've been calling it left, right, and center.
Yep.
Okay. So what exactly are we looking for?
Well, her symbols. The symbol of her deity rule are a pair of eyes surrounded by stars. In a dreamscape is one eye, and in the real world, the other eye. But be warned,
Attitude.
while in the dreamscapes anyone can freely touch the artifact, it's not going to be the same in the real world.
What's the caveat for the real world?
You have to share the alignment of what she was before
And
she
what alignment is that?
Out of character, I think it was Chaos Good.
Yeah, but if
He
you
was
remember
one of the
what
more benevolent.
Yeah, but if you remember what Aerith told you about her, she was chaotic good.
I am neutral good.
Okay.
That leans towards me and Elise.
Lawful good.
Yep, so as you kind of learned from the first god effect that you touch, if you're not fitting their perfect alignment, you would get shocked.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you're close to it, however, then you just let it go.
A minor shock.
Yeah.
But if Talune was keyword was chaotic good, that leans towards me and Elise.
But what is she now?
She would be corrupted at this point in time, so she would be chaotic evil if I'm narrowing that down.
Yes. She was corrupted by the Lady of Poison. As much as all the other gods were.
Yes, you can see Daisy like face one. It's like, of course she is.
Because why wouldn't she be?
So basically, none of us can hold the eyes.
No, keyword was we have to be their previous alignment.
Oh.
Elise and I can hold the eyes.
Oh, never mind. Out of character, never mind.
Yeah, in Dream Realm, anybody can touch it, but in the real world, no.
Only Elise and Nephrite.
Yeah.
Okay then, let's start looking for an eye.
But where do we look first?
I can get you as close as I can to the eye, but I cannot interfere in any way. My role in the dream world is just to be a watcher.
If you can get us as close as possible, that's all we ask.
Also depends on how much time is left tonight.
Well,
We
we're
may
gonna
have
have.
to come back on it another night. No, I mean this is in character.
In
Yeah, in
character.
character, yeah.
So, he doesn't know how much time there is before dawn, and he wants the full amount of time to go try to get this artifact.
You hear Alanta laugh and going, time is a funny thing in the dream world. Sometimes it feels like you can be here for days or weeks, when really it's just been a few hours. Sometimes it's shorter. You can be in here for 2 hours, but it will still last the night.
So time flows differently.
Yes. Sometimes an eternity can feel only like a few seconds. Or the other way around.
Somehow I feel that the attention of the one that we're bothering is going to be turned toward us. So I'm sure that time will not be on our side.
Yeah, no. It's like, if you can get us as close as possible to the artifact, that will be great.
I will try.
So,
Anything else before you leave?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, you see, Deja is like still a little bit emotional from seeing her mom and not wanting to eat.
Nefri's still a little bit heated about the thing threatening her family along with her guild leader, so she's just ready to kill these things in one way or another. She's just ready to kill these things.
Out of character, one way or another.
No! Alright, if all of you are good, Alanta's gonna hold out her arms. Green sparks exit through her fingertips, surrounds you all in a blinding light. And that is where we're gonna end tonight.
Oh!
Oh, dang it!
Because I knew that Dragon had to leave because he was getting really, really tired. I could actually hear it when he was role-playing as Elise for his portion of the dream, because I just kind of heard it said, nah, he's getting tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's difference between Dragon's tired voice
In Dragon's...
not so tired.
Like, there's a difference between Dragon's tired voice and... Can I actually just say the word? Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Dang it, I can't say the word.
Yeah, you can stop recording this.
There's a difference between Dragon's tired voice and Dragon's awesome voice whenever he's being extremely snarky.